I don't want to use the word dynasty, but there's a quality young group here where they're going to grow and grow and grow now exponentially.
You respect it from your side of the microphone, and we've got questions to ask, and some of them might be awkward questions, but there's just a way of treating people is what I thought about it at the time, and it just didn't seem right.
Well, that's the way it felt, yeah. Life's too short to hold grudges, mate. I'm a bit scarred from it, I must say, so no, move on.
DSPN, the Devlin Sports Podcast Network.
The Crusaders did it again. They won it again, as you know. 13 titles now in 28 full years of international comp. It's called Super Rugby. And after last year, the worst of the New Zealand sides bounced back to become the best of all the rest. Coach Rob Penney joins us. Congratulations, mate. Well done.
Thanks, Marty. Appreciate it.
Been a few days now. You still feel as good as it did on Saturday night?
Oh, yeah, it does, yeah. I think it'll feel bloody good forever.
I bet.
So nothing wrong with that either.
Hey, you're going to get asked a lot, and so let's just kick it off right with that. So, last year to this year, what are just some of the just essential ingredients that were meant that you and your crew, all your coaching team were able to turn this around?
Well, I've said it several times. Fundamentally, we just had a great roster available to us with our world-class players back. I think we had 13 players out last year for long periods of time, and no roster's going to cope with that. It wouldn't matter who you are. And we only missed out on the top six by one win. So we were really close last year, and this year we've had all the players available to us that you'd normally expect. High calibre of people who were determined, extremely well led by David Havili and Will Jordan, Ethan Blackadder and Cody Taylor as his understudies, and the group really thrived. And they were, as I said, we reflected a bit too. 2001, the Crusaders finished 10th. 2002, they won it unbeaten. That was a little bit of a goal for us to emulate their outcomes. So there's lots of moments and lots of bits and pieces along the way, but fantastic year. And the rationale's not, you don't have to dig too deep to find out why we struggled a bit last year.
How did you change, or did you feel anything totally different about yourself, the way that you approach the season, the way that you coach the season as opposed to last year?
No, not really. Tamati Ellison, who had taken over the attack from being defence coach the year before, left us, and he's a great man, to join the All Blacks, and James Marshall took over the attack, and he's a revelation as a coach. He's got fantastic ability. He gets the best out of the group that he's coaching. So and he reinvented our attack. And particularly early on when the ball was dry on the ground and the sun's out, we showed some fantastic glimpses of the potential of the group. But we're only embedding that new attack shape. Toddy, in his second year as defence coach, just grew immeasurably. And it takes time, when you're in a new environment to, stamp your mark. And he's done that on our defence. And as you saw several times throughout the year, it was the bedrock of our season. And Brad Moore coming in, wealth of experience, slightly different lens than Tarms, I guess, and the glue was there from the start. And DP Dan Perrin, who looks after our set piece, very accomplished coach, and got the best out of the group day in, day out. And you put all those factors together. I think the group's really capable to push on now, and I don't want to use the word dynasty, but there's a quality young group here with great leaders who are givers, and the coaching group's just coming into, an age of maturity where they're going to grow and grow and grow now exponentially, and it's going to be a great organisation under the roof, and just so excited about what the future holds here.
So no rest at all. So what you're doing is sounding warning to everyone else, saying we're coming to get it again next year.
Well, that's the aim of every super team when they line up at the start. Everyone talks about it without probably being overt about it. That's the goal, and the boys are, as I said, proud men with great skill sets, and that goes right through the organisation. And having an outcome like that is it's the only acceptable one here.
Rob, at what stage during the season did you start thinking we can really win this? Because it was a slow build and it was a slow burner. The Chiefs came out of the gates like a rocket, didn't they? And for so long during the season, looked like the best team in Super Rugby, and probably did right up until the playoffs. So at what stage did you actually start thinking, I tell you what, I think we can actually take this?
Well, I was just looking through my report last year, and I had a statement at the bottom that said I fully believe that the team can win the competition in 2025. I know there was people out there that wouldn't have believed it, but I did, and I never faltered in that belief. And so, right from the word go, when we were showing glimpses of how capable we were, both sides of the ball, and the growth was coming, there was no doubt in my mind we were capable of getting there. You do need, you need things going for you to allow you to win championships. It's never plain sailing, and sometimes you look back and you go, there was a moment that we took, or there was another moment that we took, or we were a wee bit lucky there. But at the end of the day, the boys, did a great job and earned the right.
After they came down, it was only 6 weeks before the final, they came down to Christchurch, you're up 19-3, they scored before half-time, momentum changed, they blanked you in the second half. What did that tell you about them? What did it tell you about yourselves to be able to turn that around in 6 weeks when you played them in the final?
Well, we knew they're a quality group, and they've got a cohort there now that had been through two experiences of finals, worked their way through. They knew how to get themselves to that position. Once the Blues last 20, that took them through the middle and punished them very similar to what they did in the final the year before to them, that opened up some cracks, gave us a blueprint really. So from that moment on, when we had a home run, tough as it was, like the Reds got through reasonably comfortably and no injuries, the Blues was always going to be a mammoth effort. But it showed us the blueprint. If we managed to get through the Blues, we were on track, because we knew the Chiefs would beat the Brumbies confidently, we thought. All in all, I think that was the catalyst for setting our structures. We've played, and the coaching staff and our analysts have played the Chiefs a number of times. They've got key personnel that you need to keep quiet. And you've got key aspects of the game that you need to cope with, and you do that, and you'll be in the hunt. And our group got set up so well, and they all bought in, and they went deep.
12 points, 14 points, 12 points. And you know what this is. That's the amount of points you conceded during the playoffs. So it came down to that defence, and we saw it especially against the Blues, where you held them off, where they may have scored like they did against the Chiefs in the last minute to take it to extra time. So what changed in that? And that was, you talk about your attack and you talk about, using the ball throughout the season, but when it came to the playoffs, it was so much structured around your defence.
Yeah, absolutely. There were moments, we played the Highlanders under the roof, and I think we made 297 tackles. I think it's a super record.
Wow.
So teams just have this desire to try to run through men that are totally committed to their task, and at the end of the day, we've had success on stopping that. And Toddy needs to take a hell of a lot of credit, the way he's got the boys to buy into the structures and the way he's doing it, and that's what happened as the season went on. As I said, Toddy's second year, he had his own DNA. It was his, and he really owned it, and the boys love him and bought in and supported him, and together they worked on a defensive strategy that was able to fill the park and made it really difficult for teams to score. And you did right, it just all came to fruition back end, but there were elements of it unfolding throughout the year that was the green shoots, I guess.
Rob, let's go back to last year then. And I know, again, you're going to be asked about this, but that particular press conference where the microphones were left on and things like that, I mean, was that, one of the lowest points that you've had as a person, as a coach? Just because, I mean, I know you well enough to know that that's not actually you and who you are, but the frustrations were there. To go from that to where you're feeling now, that final whistle goes on Saturday, it's just, the A opposites. You couldn't get a bigger turn or a bigger flip around, could you?
Yeah. Well, that was a very embarrassing moment. Regretted immensely. What I've, on reflection, what was the agenda all about? What was behind it? Why was it driven the way it was? I haven't got the answers. I've got my assumptions, but at the end of the day, I felt no sports person on the planet deserves to be treated like that, and I just thought it was a blight on people, and we know who they are, and they've got to live with that. I hope they reflect on it. It affected me deeply, and it affected my family, the people I love, and there's just no place for it. I don't care who you are. That should never occur.
Well, it's just a respect thing. It's just a human respect thing, mate. And we've all got jobs to do, and I know that you respect it from your side of the microphone, and we've got questions to ask, and some of them might be awkward questions, but there's just a way of treating people, is what I thought about it at the time, and yeah, it just didn't seem right.
Well, that's the way it felt. Yeah. And you can have difficult conversations. And that's fine. And I was trying to be right through the campaign, trying to be as open and honest and forthright with everything I was doing. And then that was a bit of a hijack, and it was really unfortunate.
Do you feel like a year later turning around and sticking it back up people, or you're not that kind of person, or you think, look, my record now speaks for itself. I'm a champion Super Rugby coach. Eat it.
Yeah, no. Life's too short to hold grudges, mate. I'm a bit scarred from it, I must say. So, but no, move on.
Rob, are you
I work in an environment. Sorry.
Yeah, keep going.
I know. I was just saying, I work in an environment that is surrounded by young, positive energy, and the people are awesome, and the leadership here. Were just unbelievably loyal to me, and I just can't speak highly enough about the people here, and I'm not going to let an incident from an external source influence the rest of my time here, however long that is.
Well, how long is that? Because there's speculation that it won't be too long. Are you staying next year?
Highly likely. I love this team, love this group and the people in it, and I think I've still got something to offer. If I thought I didn't, of course I would move away. And as I've tried to share with you today, my love and commitment to the coaching group who are on the cusp of being special. I'd love to just lurk in the background with them for another year and ride on their coattails, and then hopefully, and we'll see what happens in the next month or so.
Well, yeah, highly likely isn't a definitive yes. So what might happen? Are there offers on the table from somewhere else, are there?
No, definitely not. No, I'm here. I'm here or nowhere, basically. No, this is. I couldn't have ended, I guess, my coaching time in a better place. It's just so special for me to be here. And if this is it. And if it's another year in it, I'd be extremely excited.
So just to get a finalised on that. So you were contracted until the end of this Super Rugby season. Was that it? And so now you start again.
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh well, it's probably not a bad meeting to go into with Colin, then, is it, mate?
Yeah. Look, there's there's a wee bit of water to go under. But I just want to make sure that when the review's done as thoroughly as it was last year, that there's no little fish hooks or things that I haven't identified in myself that would preclude me from doing the job. So I don't ever want to have, or I don't ever want the organisation to be in a position that they got put in last year. And so, yeah, we'll make sure that that's all, done assiduously, and we'll box on with the outcomes from those.
Again, congratulations, mate, and thank you so much for your time. I always love talking to you, and you've always been bloody kind to me. And even though that, for a lot of us, we aren't Crusaders fans, but mate, we've got much admiration because that's just a hell of a turnaround. It's what every other team in the comp wants, but you were able to do it. You did it after last year. You came back this year, so I got nothing but admiration and respect, mate.
I appreciate it, and you're right. You've always been upfront and allow, I guess, the free flow of communication, and that's all you can ask. And opportunity here to, chew the fat with you is awesome. Keep up the good work.
This is the DSPN.